South Africans, subscribers, fellow YouTubers. I decided to wear my wisdom hat today. And as I discussed this very complicated issue around the EFF and the Brackenfell High School, and I want to come from a very different perspective. And I will indicate two issues. One is an issue of the need to be very careful that as we exercise our rights, that we be mindful of our obligations not to infringe other people's rights. Secondly, I want to address in a very short way the importance of unifying as South Africans and ensuring that we really protect this democratic project and that we protect and become each other's keepers. Everyone in this country has an obligation, in my view, to ensure that we live in a peaceful society, in a crime-free society, and that we are indeed protecting and respecting each other as a people. Now, I don't want to get into what is the cause of the Brackenfell situation, and if indeed at the core of it is racism, then I agree that racism must be dealt with thoroughly without apology. We will not apologize for racists and to racists, and racists must be dealt with, no question. Whether you are a penny sparrow or whoever you are, if you are a racist, in my view, you must be dealt with. That goes without a say. However, what I am concerned with is the recent resort to violence in addressing issues around our country. Whether it is public service strikes, whether it is protest marches like we saw at Brackenfell High School, whether it's white security companies, some of them that were involved in that were, in my view, using violence as a means to address issues, whether it's some farmers in Senegal who believe that in order to complain to the government and to make their point heard about their security that's been compromised, that they feel the need to go and burn up police vehicles and go and rampage a magistrate court in Senegal. All of these things have no place. Whether it's citizens on our roads that are burning trucks that are delivering goods, all of these things are violence, are forms of violence which we cannot tolerate. Whatever the reasons, whatever the origins, it does not matter, South Africans. Violence is unacceptable, and trying to address issues using violence is problematic because violence only begets violence. I don't know if somebody is hearing me today. I am saying that EFF had, in my view, a right to go and make their concerns known at Brackenfell High School. But at the same time, they had to respect COVID-19 regulations. At the same time, they had to respect the rights of learners who are writing their matric exams in a very peculiar time of COVID-19. But also understanding the psychological impact that particular protest action would have on the learners that are writing exams at the school. All of these things, South Africans, are difficult to weigh, but the truth is, violence begets violence. Do we have divergent views? Probably. Is there a better way to address them? Yes, certainly there is. Can we not come, sit on a table, argue about our differences, discuss our differences, and eventually come to an amicable solution as adults without resort to violence? We cannot rule this country with violence. There is no future for this country if all that we do is to resort to violence as a means. This really, South African, saddens my heart, and I wanted to say, as we explain the law on this channel, let it be clear that rights are not just rights, they have corresponding obligations. And as we exercise our rights on the one hand, we must be careful of the obligations that we have towards other people. That is the essence of what I want to say about the rights and the importance of ensuring that we are careful as we exercise our individual rights, that we do not infringe of others' rights. The second thing I want to highlight: yesterday the memorandum was not delivered on the school because people refused to be law-abiding citizens. They refused to respect the COVID-19 regulations. They even refused to listen to common sense and logic when members of the South African Police Service were speaking with them. But they resorted to violence. They wanted to force their way in, and it defeated the mission, which was to make their concerns heard to the school. And that didn't happen. And there's this other thing that pains me: the unity of Africans, black South Africans. And I will say this with with a deep concern. Very easy we are able to come together and amass power and contribute to ensuring that we build unions and political organizations in this country. Very quick we are able to come together and build churches. Surely it should not end there, South Africans. We need to ensure that we are very clear in utilizing and our numbers to build and contribute to the development of each other. Use the little money that we have to create space in the economy for us. We cannot always be begging and crying to be included in things. We cannot. I mean, if really the big issue was that our children did not or were not invited to a matric farewell, why don't we go and book the best hotel in the country? Treat our children to the nicest matric function that money can buy. Invite all students, not just black students, all students, and see really what the true issues are. Will all students come, or will some of them come? Use it as an opportunity to build as opposed to divide South Africa. I think we responded in a way, but I don't think it's better. I think we could have done much, much better. Demonstrated our humanity in a much better way. I understand the pain that as a black parent you would go through when your child is subjected to indignity at a white school. But certainly one of the issues we need to start considering is ensuring that there is quality in public schools. Ensuring that our children receive the best quality education that money can buy in the areas where they live, so that they are not forced to go to funny schools. But then again, the Department of Education must equally be very active in ensuring that all forms of racism is dealt with in our schools. As long as you are registered as a school in this country, there are clearly laws that we need to abide by. And this is something that I believe. If the school has such a disproportionate number where there is no even a single black teacher in a school, 2 are coloreds in Cape Town, it's a problem. And somebody must definitely see that there is a problem here and that it must be fixed. What I'm saying to you, South Africans, as I conclude: white violence, black violence, green violence, purple violence, violence by private security companies, violence by EFF, violence by government that is not warranted is wrong and has no place in our society. Secondly, as you exercise your rights, be mindful of the rights of others. Lastly, let us ensure that we as Black Africans are able to consolidate our power, come together and build things for ourselves so that we don't have to beg somewhere else and fight just to be accommodated. I think that there's a better way. There is a better way that we can do this, South Africa. That is all I wanted to submit today. So, having said that, thank you very much for listening. And I'm sure these are very complicated issues. But all I know is that we are better together, South Africa. Green, white, purple, blue, whatever. We are better together. Let us not mess it up. Let us not mess it up. Let us not mess it up. Thank you very much, South Africa.